Football and family have always been connected for dual-threat quarterback Jayden Daniels, who was drafted number 2 overall by the Washington Commanders. His father, Javon Daniels, played defensive back at Iowa State and got Jayden into football early and coached him all the way through high school at Cowboys in San Bernardino, California, where he required a medical waiver to start as a freshman because he was only 130 pounds. Javon, Jayden's mother, Regina Jackson, and his grandparents, William and Betty Daniels, drove him to practices and watched as he set multiple California records, including total yards in a season with 6,431 in 2017. In March of 2021, William and Betty both died of COVID. Jayden struggled that season, his third at Arizona State, with 10 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. But Daniels took his father's advice to pick himself up by his bootstraps, and he transferred to LSU, where he became a superstar. Jayden won the Heisman in 2023 after leading the FBS in total yards and setting a single-season passer rating record, and is expected to help turn around a Washington team that has had 11 different starting quarterbacks since 2020. After playing in 12 games as a true freshman at Washington, the future was looking bright for linebacker Latu. Then in practices before his sophomore year, Latu suffered a neck injury that kept him out of the 4 games of the COVID season. He had neck surgery the following March, but Washington's team doctors and consultants deemed Latu had not recovered sufficiently for him to continue playing football, and then coach Jimmy Lake announced his retirement. Feeling like he could still play, Latu met with other doctors and was cleared by one in Southern California that often worked with UCLA. So Latu transferred to the Bruins, where he also got sign-off from their team doctors. Latu finished that 2022 season with 10.5 sacks and was named Co-Comeback Player of the Year alongside Michael Penix. In 2023, Laiatu led the nation in tackles for loss and ranked 4th nationally in sacks and was a unanimous All-American. The Indianapolis Colts selected Latu with the 15th pick, their first defensive first-rounder after 14 consecutive offensive players, and he's expected to be a major contributor out of the gate. When USC lost to Washington in Caleb Williams' final season, the broadcast showed the quarterback who had just thrown for more than 300 yards with 4 touchdowns jump into the stands to find comfort from his mother. The video went viral, with critics saying it showed a lack of strength and leadership from the sobbing quarterback. Williams turned it around, saying it showed his authentic self and spread the awareness he talks about. That would be mental health awareness, from painting 988 on his nails to making PSAs. And when Caleb declared for the NFL draft, he also launched the Caleb Cares Foundation, which advocates for mental health. I created Caleb Cares to empower kids, Williams, whose mother owned a daycare, explains on the website, and eliminate bullying. At Caleb Cares, we like to say, think kindness, say hello, ask someone how they're doing, and reach out. Williams was drafted number 1 overall by the Chicago Bears, where he's expected to lead an offense loaded with weapons. Audric Estime has one tattoo, Roman numerals of his mother's birthday on his left arm. The former Notre Dame running back, drafted by the Denver Broncos 147th overall, was raised by Bertha Noisette, a registered nurse, until she died of sickle cell disease when he was just 10. Along with the tattoo, Estime honors his mother before every game by taking a knee and speaking to her. The 5'11", 225-pound back led the Fighting Irish with 1,341 rushing yards in 2023, averaging 6.4 yards per carry, and his 18 rushing touchdowns set a program record. Estime's aunt, Maurice Fade, and Uncle Garrick Noisette became his legal guardians following his mother's death, and his cousin has been an inspiration for him on the field. That would be Terrence Fade, a 4-year NFL veteran, and his godfather, who has served as his mentor in the sport. Travis Clayton's path to the NFL is as unique as it gets. The 6'7", 300-pounder never played football growing up in Basingstoke, England, but instead was a rugby star. Clayton first toyed with American football at London's NFL Academy in 2019, but really learned the game over 10 weeks of training at IMG Academy in 2023. Travis attended the NFL's International Player Pathway Program Pro Day, where he ran a 4.79 40-yard dash, faster than any offensive lineman at the regular NFL Combine. The Buffalo Bills took notice and drafted him in the 7th round, making Clayton only the second player from the IPP to be drafted after Australian Rugby League star Jordan Mailata by the Philadelphia Eagles in 2018. The Bills, who hoped to use Clayton on the offensive line, connected him with another English rugby player, former Buffalo running back Christian Wade. There's high-character football players, and then there's Adisa Isaac. When the outside linebacker drafted in the 3rd round by the Baltimore Ravens is not working to become a better football player, he's at home helping his mother raise his 3 siblings, all of whom are nonverbal. Isaac's older brother Kyle has cerebral palsy, and another older brother, Joshua, and his younger sister Tajay have autism. With single mom Lisa Wilchar Isaac, a special needs teacher, they are a tight-knit family who inspire Adisa on the field. At Penn State, Isaac ruptured his Achilles in 2021 and missed an entire season, but bounced back in 2023. He was voted captain and had 7.5 sacks and 37 tackles, including 16 for a loss. Isaac also found time for a part-time job, working with kids with disabilities. Ramond Ray Davis became the first player in Division I history to run for 1,000 yards at 3 different schools. It's a fitting accomplishment for someone used to moving around. Davis and his 14 siblings grew up in foster care around San Francisco as his parents were in and out of prison. At 12, he chose to separate from his younger siblings so they could live in a home with their godmother, which left him alone. He moved into a homeless shelter at 14 and remembers constantly texting adults looking for somewhere to stay. Eventually, a few teachers and parents of a friend took him in, and he was able to attend school regularly enough to play football, later transferring to a boarding school in New York just as his father was putting his life back together and the two were able to build a relationship. Davis was recruited to Temple, where he played 2 seasons before transferring to Vanderbilt and eventually Kentucky. In his senior season, Davis had 1,129 rushing yards, 323 receiving yards, and 21 touchdowns. The Buffalo Bills selected Davis in the 4th round, and he's competed to back up James Cook. On the field, Emany Johnson had an incredible year in 2023 as a senior at Nevada, where he stayed all 6 years. But outside of football was a different story. The undrafted free agent safety for the Dallas Cowboys lost his best friend and then woke up the next morning to learn his father, also a one-time college safety, had passed. Johnson had already lost his grandfather, a former police officer, a year earlier. His favorite team was the Cowboys, which inspired Johnson to sign there over Arizona and Baltimore. He's now focused on making the team so he can support his mother, who has already moved to Dallas. She raised Emany, one time living homeless together. At Hercules High School in the Bay Area, he also played basketball and baseball. The 6'2", 215-pound defensive back is known for his physicality, something he believes was passed down from his father. 99.965% of football players drafted into the NFL played in college. Quan'tez Stiggers is one of the 5 who did not. The cornerback was 1 month in at Division II Lane College in 2020, with COVID having already canceled the football season, when his father died from a car accident-induced coma. So Stiggers left to take care of his family. He returned to football through a fan-controlled arena league and then the Canadian Football League, where after 5 interceptions, 12 deflections, and 56 tackles for the Toronto Argonauts, was named Most Outstanding Rookie. Multiple NFL teams inquired about free agency, but because of that month at Lane, Stiggers was draft eligible. He was not invited to the Combine, however, but Stiggers scored an invite to the Shrine Bowl and hosted his own pro day at the high school where he was once a zero-star receiver, listed at 5'6", 155 pounds. 8 years, 6 inches, and 42 pounds later, Stiggers was drafted 176 by the New York Jets. It's no surprise the Buffalo Bills coaching staff are describing their 5th-round pick, Javon Solomon, as a student of the game. In the spring before his senior year at Troy University, the defensive end was put on bed rest after surgery to repair a sports hernia. A graduate assistant made him a video of every pass rush from his junior season, and he watched it endlessly for days. When he returned to the field as a senior, Solomon had 16 sacks, the most for any Division I player in the country, and set a Troy record for 33 in his career, besting Hall of Famer DeMarcus Ware. Solomon's work ethic comes from the mom who raised him and his 2 brothers alone, while also working full-time at Walmart. Javon, who is considered undersized at his position at 6'1", has someone new to learn from in Buffalo, one of the best rushers to ever play, Von Miller.